welcome to our lesson on functions and graphs. A function is a relationship of numbers where each input has only one output. Let me say that again. A relationship of numbers where each input has only one output. Or another way of saying that is the x never repeats if it's a function. Let me say that again. The x never repeats. That's the domain number. You cannot have two y values for a single x for it to be a function. Here we have a coordinate plane. The coordinate plane is made. We have y-axis, x-axis, the origin, and ordered pairs. So let's look at that on our graph here on the right. So we have the y-axis, and of course we have the x-axis. We have the origin, which is 0, 0. It's called the origin, and an ordered pair. Let's graph a point here. That's the point. It goes over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It goes up 3, so that's 5, 3. 5 in the x and 3 in the y. That is what we call an ordered pair. Great. Let's look at some coordinates on coordinate plane, see if we can identify coordinates. So it's going to have an x and a y. So let's look at A here. A goes over, always starting at 0. A goes over how many places in the x and goes up. It goes 1, 2 in the x. So that means the x is, it goes over 1, 2. The x is 2. And it goes how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the y. Let's see. For B, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4 back in the x, and it goes up 2 in the y. C goes, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the x, and it goes none in the y. So that's 0. D goes back 1 in the x, and it goes down 5 in the y. And E goes, see, 1.5 in the x, and 1, 2, 3, -4 in the y. Great. Great. Let's look at the concept of independent and dependent variables. The independent variable is something that's going to happen regardless, and the dependent variable is something that counts on the independent variable. Let's look at our examples here. Independent and dependent. Example number 1 says, as our teacher gets older, he gets more gray hair. Well, let's think about it. The independent one is that your teacher gets older. That's going to happen regardless of his hair. And the dependent one is the gray hair is dependent on him getting older because it's getting older that gives him the gray hair. So that's the dependent variable. If we sell more lemonade, we will make a profit. Well, the price of the lemonade is independent because that could be anything. But you have to sell lots. You have to sell it. The price will depend on the profit. If you have too high of a price, you probably won't make much profit. So you would say that the profit is dependent on the price of the lemonade. Great. Let's look at an example where we're going to graph a function. Here's a function that it's gas used and miles driven. I'm going to put another one in here for the sake of our graph to make it look right. So let's see. When we go 3 gallons, that's going to be 60 miles. That's that point, 3. Okay, 6 gallons would be 100 miles. Yeah. 8 gallons is 140 miles. And 10 gallons is 139 miles. So the best line of fit is a straight line that goes up. It's a graph of my function. The domain is, and the range, so the domain is 3, 6, 8, and 10. And the range is, let's see, 60, 100, 140, and 139. Great. Thank you for joining us for our lesson on functions and graphs. Now go get your homework done.